What's up, nerd? Welcome to Book Club. Take a seat. As my last name suggests, I like to do quite a bit of reading. I like to get my knowledge from books, I feel like that's a good way of getting knowledge, strengthen the brain, you know what I'm saying? And I like to read all these books, and I want to talk about some of these books. So I figured, why not talk about some of these books to you, amazing people? And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. So, this new series, whatever you want to call it, is going to be called Book Club. And today, on Book Club, we're talking about The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks, right? Yeah, Oliver Sacks. If you've already read this book, then you know that this book is a fantastic book, and you know why we're going to talk about it today. But if you haven't read this book, that's all good. Go read the book. But watch this video first, because I'm going to explain to you why you should read the book. All right, let's do it. I got my tea here. You guys should brew up some tea yourself, because this is Book Club. Let's do it. Oliver Sacks, for those of you who don't know, is a neurologist. He works in the medical field. He deals with a lot of lunatics. He deals with a lot of people with a lot of fucked up brain issues. But he's probably more recognized as the man who writes about his patients. He writes in such a way that makes you feel, you feel sorry for the patients. You think, like, wow, that really can fucking happen to anyone, can't it? It's kind of crazy, because some of the people in this book go their whole lives not doing anything bad, and then they get to their 80s, 70s, 90s, and all of a sudden they can't recognize a face or something. I don't know. Or their entire body just shuts down, and they can't move their leg without having to look at their leg and go, that's the leg. I need to move my leg. It really makes you feel bad for all of these patients. It's like, wow, like I can't imagine having to deal with some of the shit that some of these patients have to deal with, but they have to deal with it because that's life. And then you see in some of the stories too that like you see their way of how they cope with the issue that at hand. Also, okay, just a real quick critique. This is not about the book itself, but this is about Amazon. Amazon, what the fuck, man? I ordered this book off of Amazon, and look what happened. It came like this. This is the book. This is the first 15 pages. 18 pages. Like, what? Like, what? Amazon, what? 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 But so the book itself is split up into 4 sections, 4 parts. Part 1 is titled Losses, and it's all has to deal with people who kind of like lose their touch with reality or something. And each chapter is a different patient, by the way, and with a different type of fucked up issue. I gotta stop saying that. Or a different type of mental disease. So, for example, the first chapter is literally about a man who mistook his wife for a hat. That's a real thing. He can't recognize faces, and so he loses that sense of reality with that, Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, this book is written in... This book is from the 70s, the 80s, maybe the early 80s, late 70s type of deal, right? If you're curious, I'm drinking a nice vanilla black tea with some hazelnut creamer in it. It's very tasty. The second part in this book is titled Excesses, right? So it's all about people you get the idea, fucking excess shit, So it talks about people like Tourette's syndrome, and people have like a bunch of excess energy that they need to get out, and then they do that by going, shit, fuck. I mean, honestly, that part is probably my least favorite part of the book, is excesses. Still a good part, but it's not my favorite. The third part, this part is really cool. The third part of the book is called Transports, right? And it's about these people with this type of disease that transports the reality somewhere else, like say you do a shit ton of drugs and you get transported to another reality. That's what this chapter is about. Nuts. So for example, there's these people in this section of the book where they hear a song played in their head, and the song is not actually there. They wake up, they go, "Ooh, what is that song? Did someone leave the radio on? Oh, no, I'm just going crazy." It's interesting because there's this woman in the book that has that happen to her, and the songs are being played like Irish-type jigs or some shit, and then she gets transported back to her childhood where she used to live in Ireland, and then she lived there from the ages whatever to 5, I guess when she was born to 5. But she has no memory of that time of her life because she lived here with her mom. Her mom passed away, then she had to move out to the States or whatever. But those songs bring back those memories. Like, it literally transports her back to her childhood. Very interesting stuff. Oh, dude, this chapter is so insane. Chapter 19, Murder. I'm not going to talk about it because if you do end up reading this book, that chapter fucking blew my mind. Part 4 is called The World of the Simple. This part is where Oliver Sacks talks about, in the book, because this word wasn't so bad at the time, he called them retards. He talks about people, mentally handicapped people, kind of their way of thinking, but not just any mentally handicapped people who are called idiot savants. So people who are not necessarily fully functioning, but they have a very creative and artistic side to them. So for example, there's this one chapter in the book, it's called The Autist Artist. That's what the chapter is called. He can draw, he's an artist, and he can draw from his memory. Like he'll take one look at a picture and he'll go, okay, and he fucking draws that shit. Draws it so cool. So like there. That is the picture that the doctor showed him. The dude, Jose is his name. The dude, Jose, took one look at the picture and drew that, which is pretty good. I mean, I couldn't draw like that. So that's the 4 parts of the book, and with each chapter, it's not just him explaining the patients and like what they do, but he also goes really deep into the whole like neurological side of things. So he explains like exactly like kind of what's going on as best as he can do, because this is written at a time where there's not a lot of research going on into it at the time. I feel like a lot of these things coming up are like new things where like he's also trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on with these guys. This entire book was so hard for me to put down. I loved every single chapter of it, every single moment of it. I would just keep on turning those pages. This book inspired me to start this fucking series. So, I mean, obviously I enjoyed this book. I highly recommend giving this book a read, especially if you're into if you're wanting to be a doctor, especially if you want to be a neurologist, if you're into finding out what exactly our brain is capable of doing, like how fucked up can our brain get, take a look at this book. I really enjoy it. You might enjoy it too. If you already read the book, let me know. Let me know what you thought about it. It was cool. And if this video does make you read the book, then that's cool too. Let me know about that too, because that'd be cool. You know? That was book club for The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks. Oliver Sacks has a lot of other books, so many other books, all in the same field. He has a book about music. He has a book called Musicophilia. I'm going to go read that book probably next. Or maybe not right now, but in the future I'll read that book. So thank you for watching my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys get some reading done. I mean, reading's very good for you. Reading exercises the brain. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my tea. Cheers, everyone.